We will get into it, Blake. We're going to, of course, look at the next 4 teams in our season preview this week. The Warriors, the Dragons, the Raiders, and the Sharkies. But before we do, we have a quick look at the All Star Game that was played on the weekend. Hell of a game.
It was good, man. I suppose the 12:30 bedtime was a bit late for myself, waking up early the next day, but it was well worth it right to the end. I thought it was going to be a bit of a boring game watching that first 10 to 15 minutes. It wasn't until the Indigenous side actually spread the ball and started to chance their arm and then gave it to the Hulk, the destroyer himself, for Fafita. Man, is he going to be good this year? Or
he's a scary human being. On that right edge, he just tore strips off the Māori team.
Like, can you imagine being Paddy Herbert and players like that who versed him then, but they have to do that every week in contact sessions to try and tackle him? Like, it's an impossible job. And you've seen it on the weekend, but they didn't use him right, I think, in the end. But at the start, when they gave him some space, oh man, he's a sight. He is a sight. And good sign for the boys, the Warriors. I know we're getting into them. The halves look good, man. They look
good. The big conundrum for me for the Warriors, but we'll get to that shortly.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, if Fafita had his breakout year last year in terms of consistency and showed us what he can do, I think everyone needs to be very scared heading into the 2022 season. I know if I was on the opposite side of him, I'd just let him go through. And I missed the tackle anyway, and I don't want to get hurt.
And it looked like it happened a couple of times. I was like, oh, yeah, nah. First game, a long season. Go on, mate. Do your thing.
Yeah.
What do you reckon about Nico Hines? Yeah, you reckon he went all right?
He looks pretty good. I think the Sharkies and Sharkies fans will be licking their lips after what they saw there. He showed that he can control a game. He's got a nice little chip on him. Another one to watch. I guess anytime someone leaves the Storm setup, you're always putting a bit of we need to watch this player to see how they go outside that setup. But I feel like the Sharkies, Craig Fitzgibbon, he will have a big year also.
Yeah, and one of my friends who I was lucky enough to play with, and he got his first crack at All Stars on the weekend, Jazz Tavanga, and mate, he was outstanding. I thought he was a bit unlucky, like Tarpany was outstanding. I thought Jazz was a bit unlucky not to get the MVP, the Preston Campbell medal. I mean, I thought you don't usually play as many minutes as he did. He played, I think, 60 minutes straight.
Yeah.
And the first 40 could have been at lock, and that last 20 he played was at hooker. But, to do that and do it well, and he seemed to be popping up everywhere. I thought he was a bit unlucky, but that's another good sign. There was he was outstanding for his first hit out in the All-Star, so I thought I'd give him a little shout-out. He was good, and hopefully he continues this year, as I know he will.
There's one thing you can guarantee with Jazz Tavanga, and it's that he will bring the noise and bring the energy.
Actually, did you see the other thing that could be good? He was the go-between, he was calming everyone down, the mediator. Who you call the mediator?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was when the fights were happening and everyone for Fafita was trying to go after someone and all this. Jazz was the one calming down. We didn't see that last year. We used to go out and try and start the fights. So could be another positive as well. He was out there calming everyone down. I didn't mind I wish someone would throw a punch though. I mean, it's easy sitting out here watching it, but yeah.
Yeah, Rapana he probably deserved one or two on the chin there. Got away with, didn't get away with it, got sent to the bin, but yeah, it was for a first game, I guess, first look at the elite level players.
Yep.
It's a pretty good fixture and certainly gets the blood flowing heading into the season. What are we now? Now we're only a month out. It can't come fast enough.
Yep. And they are, I know if we had time, we're going to speak about it, but I'm pretty sure this year from watching that All-Stars game, they said they're showing trial matches on Sky.
Yeah.
So Yeah.
Typically, that I know Sky have done in the past, always the Warriors ones. But if we can get everything else, wowee, I'm excited.
Yeah, well, it's like an extra month of footy, isn't it?
Yeah, two rounds they play this week and next week,
Awesome.
and then have a week off. But as you say, we'll get to that shortly.
Yep.
Before we move on, does anyone from that game sort of excite you, stand out, grab your attention that you weren't possibly looking at ahead of the season, but now like, oh, okay.
There was a couple of young kids. I mean, that Tyrell Sloane from the Indigenous. I mean, Duffy's obviously gone from the Dragons, and they tried Ramsey. It sort of didn't work. So, I mean, he didn't look out of place. He's sharp, real fast, and it's sort of the other person who I sort of doubled down on now after watching him play. We mentioned it last week. I think we all did when we were mentioning the Broncos team, Selwyn Cobbo.
Yeah,
mate, he's gonna be something. I would hate to see him wasted on a wing. I'd love to see him at fullback or in the centres, but I reckon he's got a big future. It's outstanding.
Yeah, Broncos had a big win in their trial against Wynnum over the weekend too. I know it's only a club side or a feeder side, but still, you take a lot of confidence out of that.
Oh, you would, and a lot of those Wynnum boys. I mean, I didn't see the team, but usually they're ex, maybe not first graders, but they've been in those NRL squads.
Yeah.
So there's still some good players that they would have played against. So, like you said, it takes some confidence, and it just now double reaffirms that that top 8 spot's looking not too bad.